We recently put up a video on TikTok about wear and tear in rental properties, and we've had an overwhelming response to that video and loads of comments that I just wanted to read a few and give you our take on some of these questions. I am just scrolling now. So there was someone who actually said, where did the lines get drawn? Accident 1, spill on carpet, etc. What if entire carpet is, she uses a different word, but I'm going to say had it. So if the carpets have had it, where do I stand as a tenant and where do I stand as a landlord? We always work out and ask the owner or the landlord, how old are these carpets? When were they installed? Now here in Australia, the ATO or the Australian Tax Office give carpet a 10-year lifespan. Now, if you're in our state, which is New South Wales, basically if you were to go to NCAT, they take that as a guide for any accidents that do happen and what the tenant is actually required to rectify and pay for. So say if the carpet is only a year old, generally NCAT would rule that the tenant is responsible for, say, 9 years worth of damage, because there would be 9 years left in depreciation when it came to that carpet. So the owner has already been able to depreciate the first year that carpet was installed, and the tenant would be responsible for the rest of that time. Let me have a look at another one. What does a ripped curtain count as? So this was another comment, and this person actually says that this was an accident. It actually is considered accidental damage. So depending on what your property manager and landlord have said, you really just want to talk to them and say, look, you know, we're happy to live with it if it's a stain or whatever, but we will rectify it when we go and we will pay the costs. We've also had a comment where someone has said, LOL, as if we aren't at the mercy of a sparse rental market. We don't call when things break because we want a renewal. And our response was, it's still important to report, because you don't want something like a leaking roof ignored. It can cause more damage if it's not fixed. And this person writes, totally agree. It's the landlords who need to understand that we're helping them, not being a pain. And houses have to be maintained, and there are issues that go with them, and there are investors who do realise that. So please do not ignore any issues, and please report them, because it is important for property managers and for the landlords to know. Another interesting one, what about stains in a plastic sink after 6-year tenancy? We've asked, well, what are the stains from? Is it from toothpaste, or is it from something more permanent like hair dye? And they've responded, something like hair dye or fake tan. I mean, plastic sinks stain worse than ceramic or porcelain. Landlord made me pay for a porcelain ceramics basin. Our advice for landlords wanting to do any renovations, plastic sinks are actually the worst, as they say in this comment, and they suck up all the colour, and unfortunately makeup, hair dye, fake tan is a killer. Here's an interesting comment. Tell me, why are landlords so picky with cleanliness? Every time I've seen homes for rent out in the rental market, they are uninhabitable. Shame on them. In our business, we've got some amazing landlords and clients, and who actually take our advice that when a home or an apartment or townhouse needs a top-up clean, we get our professional cleaner in to do a top-up clean to actually just take it back up to a great standard for potential tenants to come and apply and live in. A beautiful comment from someone who says, this is probably the only landlord property manager video I've seen on here that doesn't demonise tenants. Thanks for that. And our response was, some tenants keep homes better than landlords ever did. In fact, I spoke to a client the other day, and he said his tenant was amazing and putting him to shame when it came to the upkeep of his property.